If you ask people to mention three names from boxing, they'd probably say Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn. As Rockefeller once said, every good deal ends up with both parties having a piece of bread in their mouths.
Although very few family businesses make it through to the second generation, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing has not only managed to do this, but also managed to thrive. His hard work and entrepreneurial thinking skills have allowed Matchroom Boxing to be elevated to newer heights that even his father couldn't imagine. The company was originally founded by Barry Hearn in 1982. The older Hearn led many successful snooker, darts, and cricket events under the company and didn't think his son would take over. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn failed his GCSEs and struggled in school. Against his father's wishes, Eddie left school and took up various jobs, eventually settling at a sports agency. It was here where he picked up a range of important skills over the next 15 years, eventually joining his father's company at the age of 33. The company was already doing quite well, with a £40 million turnover that year. Eddie's salesmanship skills were the perfect thing needed to take the business to new levels. Focusing on the boxing aspect of the business, the younger Hearn began heavily promoting many fights including Carl Froch vs. George Groves II in 2014, and Anthony Joshua vs. Vladimir Klitschko in 2017, both of which took place at Wembley Stadium with 80,000 and 90,000 fans in attendance respectively. He also began to sign on upcoming fighters and future champions including Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte. In 2018, Eddie Hearn agreed a historic $1 billion deal with a live streaming platform. This included staging 16 fights a year across America under Matchroom Boxing. Due to this deal and many others, the company turned over £200 million last year. Today Matchroom Boxing is worth approximately £700 million, making it one of the biggest boxing promotions in the world.
That Eddie has done in kind of continuing the legacy that you've created?
Well, first off, I have to say I think he's a lot better than me, which is nice for a dad to say that about his son. I'm not taking the mick. I mean, the kid's had a troubled upbringing, hasn't he? Being my son, he's got an act to follow, he's in the shadow, he's got a silver spoon kid reputation. How do you actually differentiate? And he's done that by hard work and by being creative. And I think really being so creative on social media. He's following cell shows out. I mean, if you looked at the boxing scene today, certainly in the UK and maybe in the world, if you ask people to mention three names from boxing, they'd probably say Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn. So to be in that three, in America they'd say Canelo Alvarez and a couple of others, but Eddie would be in top 5 or 6. That's an amazing amount of notoriety achieved in a 10-year span. So Eddie's not bigger than boxing, but he's as big as boxing and he's as influential. He actually has more power within the sport than I ever had because of his few million people social media following, where when he speaks, he has a platform that can actually affect a whole sport on his own.